Hey everybody, this is Mike with Birdman Gaming, and we're doing our spoiler-free review of Game of Thrones from last night, the series finale. First off, there is one scene that I will actually speak about, and that is when you first see Daenerys walking out to see the crowd. There's a scene, the very first scene you see of her, the Drogo's wings come up behind her, and it actually looks like she's a dragon, and that cinematography was just perfect. It was spot on. Um, that's the only scene I'm actually going to speak about. Uh, the From a personal standpoint, the series finale was actually really well done. It tied up a bunch. Um, there are still one or two surprises, which is fine with me. But I will say this: we need the spin-offs. We need multiple spin-offs, including one of Arya. What's west of Westeros, as she said back in season 6. Um, so I know there's a lot of people out there that hated the entirety of season 8. I'm not one of them. Yes, the long night should have been a bit brighter to where you could actually see everything that's going on. Other than that, I had no problem with the season at all. Um, People will complain that it should have taken longer for somebody to lose their mind the way they did, and what people don't realize is they set the groundwork for that to happen way back in season 1. That people don't remember because they didn't go back and rewatch the show. Something I do right before a season begins is I will go back and watch every season of the show again, just to keep everything fresh in my mind for the new season, just in case something happens. And when I speak of somebody losing their mind, it wasn't this episode, it was the last episode. But they set it in motion back in season 1. Season 1, season 2, you see glimpses of it. So yeah, I thought they did a really good job with the entire season, except, like I said, the lighting in episode 3, the long night. Um, I I like the feel at the end of the episode. It was it 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 ended on a much happier note than I was expecting. And I mean that's perfectly fine from a fan's perspective. Could we have gotten more? Yeah, we could have easily gotten more episodes. We could have easily gotten more or at least longer episodes. I was expecting this episode last night to have been at least 2 hours, and it wound up being not even the longest episode. Again, I think that goes back to the long night. Um, I know that they've got 3 spin-offs in the works, from what I've been reading online. One of which takes place thousands of years prior. So, that being said, like I said, the episode last night was a solid 4 of 5. The season as a whole, taking into account that I had watched the previous 7 seasons in a 2-week time period. I will give this season a solid 4.5 out of 5. Like I said, everything was fresh in my head going into this season, so that if something out of the ordinary happened, I would easily remember, hey, they set this up back then, they set this up here, or this here. So, I really enjoyed it. And as far as my predictions for last night's Money in the Bank, I was not expecting Brock Lesnar to show up. I truly hope that they do not put the belt back on him. I know he's finished with UFC. He's said that he's done. And I think UFC's also said that they're done as well with the back and forth. I know he's got Money in the Bank. He won the men's briefcase last night, coming in at the very last minute and just climbing the ladder and taking the belt. I personally did not like that. It felt crappy, man. It really did. It should not have happened. As far as the rest of the show, it was actually a decent show. I enjoyed the opening bout, which was the women's Money in the Bank. At that point, when they opened with the Money in the Bank, I knew that they were going to have a cash-in. I mean, you have a Money in the Bank match, and then the winner will show up at the end of the title match for that brand. And cash in. So, Bayley won, which I had called. She was actually my first pick, believe it or not. Nikki Cross was... it would have been nice to have seen her get it. But Bayley had just been putting in so much good work. Plus, she took her lumps after Mania. So, well, she deserved it. And yes, she did go ahead and cash in. But let me get to that here in a few minutes. The matches that actually mattered to me. I was surprised that Shane won the cage match. The Joe Ray match They put the belt on Ray. However, they're continuing the feud because it wasn't a clean victory. Becky beat Lacey Evans, which I actually figured would happen. Remember, I actually announced that first. And I said that if she beat Lacey, she would drop the belt to Charlotte. That way there would be a strong champion on each brand. Which she dropped the belt to Charlotte. And then Charlotte and Lacey Evans started beating up on Becky. Bayley came in for to save Becky and knocked Charlotte completely out. Cashed in, and Bayley is the SmackDown Women's Champion. The SmackDown Championship was retained by Kofi, which I had a feeling they were going to keep the belt on him until probably SummerSlam. And the match of the night was, like I said, it was the Seth Rollins AJ Styles match. And they kept the belt on Seth, but the match was definitely a 4 or 5 star match. And at the end, there was a show of respect. They shook each other's hands. That's actually, I don't know if they're going to go any further with this, but the match was, no pun intended, phenomenal. But going from that into the men's Money in the Bank, and the men's Money in the Bank, there was an ongoing storyline through the night that Sami Zayn got taken out. Braun Strowman was ejected from the building, so they started the match with 7. And it was actually a really well done match. Really good spots. But then to just have it all taken away by Brock Lesnar coming in, it didn't feel right. I know no one at WWE will see this. I know none of the superstars will see this. I know no one in any other company will see this. But in my personal opinion, Brock Lesnar did not deserve that. The superstars that were putting on a great match did not deserve to have that happen. The fans did not deserve that. So that's that. Anyway, if you like this content, of course, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little bell icon to be notified when I post something new. Remember, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, be good to one another, and I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.